Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to see us all gathered today to open the second edition of a French-Indian Knowledge Summit in one of the most prominent and innovative French academic institutions, l'Université de Lyon. Last time we all met in New Delhi, and I am especially grateful to all of you who came all the way from India to make this summit truly bilateral and allow us to draw ambitious perspectives for the future of French-Indian cooperation. I want to express my gratitude in English, to be certain each and everyone would understand me straight away, but please allow me to continue in French. Le président de la République, Emmanuel Macron, et le Premier ministre, Narendra Modi, ont eu l'occasion de le réaffirmer plusieurs fois ces derniers mois. La multiplication des collaborations franco-indiennes et l'intensification de nos relations figurent parmi les priorités de nos deux États. Nous tenons ainsi à renforcer nos coopérations bilatérales en matière énergétique, pour l'essor des mobilités nouvelles, des villes intelligentes, c'est-à-dire plus saines, plus durables, mais nous nous engageons aussi pour développer les échanges culturels, académiques et scientifiques. C'est l'objet même de notre réunion et je me félicite de vous voir si nombreux aujourd'hui. Sur le plan culturel, le réseau des Alliances françaises est mobilisé pour que le nombre d'élèves et d'étudiants indiens qui apprennent le français passe rapidement de 500 000 à 1 million. Être francophone n'est cependant pas obligatoire pour rejoindre nos établissements, car de plus en plus de formations sont aussi disponibles en anglais. C'est d'ailleurs l'un des engagements très concrets du gouvernement actuel en faveur de l'attractivité française. Pour renforcer nos coopérations universitaires, c'est l'évidence même, il nous faut avant tout œuvrer pour la mobilité étudiante et nous souhaitons augmenter sensiblement le nombre de jeunes Indiens accueillis dans l'enseignement supérieur français. Ils sont près de 9 000 actuellement et ces mobilités connaissent déjà une forte croissance. Mais bien sûr, je nous engage tous ici à aller plus loin et à développer de nouveaux programmes et de nouveaux partenariats. En mars 2018, la signature de l'accord de reconnaissance mutuelle des diplômes français et indiens a déjà marqué une étape importante pour notre coopération universitaire et elle doit maintenant nous permettre de travailler à de nouveaux projets et à la création de doubles diplômes. Ces avancées concrètes sont seules capables de soutenir l'attractivité française et le plan Bienvenue en France annoncé il y a près d'un an y contribue lui aussi, puisqu'il a permis d'introduire des améliorations importantes pour les étudiants internationaux dès cette rentrée, grâce notamment à la mise en place systématique de bureaux et d'agents d'accueil pour les étudiants internationaux, justement. I will also say it in English, not because I want to trick our translators today, but because I want to insist on my commitment and the French government's ambitions for French-Indian academic cooperation. As I was just explaining, President Macron and Prime Minister Modi are determined to increase the number of Indian students in France, and we shall build the foundations of brand new cooperation schemes to make it happen. We shall also promote French students' mobility to India or distance academic training, accessible worldwide, and joint research programs. Il me semble en effet primordial que, parallèlement à l'enseignement supérieur, nous intensifions les coopérations scientifiques entre nos deux pays. La France est déjà le 5e État partenaire de l'Inde en termes de copublication scientifique et plus de 500 projets de recherche collaboratifs ont été élaborés ces dernières années. Les structures nécessaires pour soutenir nos ambitions existent déjà, notamment le Centre franco-indien pour la promotion de la recherche avancée ou le Comité conjoint franco-indien pour la coopération scientifique et technologique. Et le Knowledge Summit qui nous rassemble aujourd'hui doit lui aussi être un espace privilégié pour partager nos ambitions et poser les bases de collaboration pérenne. Cet événement me tient d'autant plus à cœur que j'en ai lancé la première édition aux côtés du ministre Prakash Javadekar l'an dernier. L'élan remarquable initié depuis ne doit pas faiblir et il nous reste encore beaucoup à accomplir. Le président Macron et le Premier ministre Modi l'ont encore rappelé en août dernier, notamment en incitant les acteurs de l'enseignement supérieur et de la recherche de nos deux pays à soutenir activement l'innovation et à lier des partenariats avec le secteur privé autour d'enjeux stratégiques comme l'aérospatiale, la chimie verte ou encore les sciences marines. Nos écosystèmes d'enseignement supérieur et de recherche doivent en effet pouvoir bénéficier du dynamisme de l'entrepreneuriat et des start-up dans nos deux pays et des initiatives comme la STEAM School de Bombay, où des étudiants français et indiens collaborent autour de grands enjeux de développement, et ceci doit aussi valoir comme exemple. Plusieurs universités françaises commencent également à développer leur signature internationale en se spécialisant sur des thématiques industrielles, technologiques ou de sociétés ciblées et en lien avec des acteurs privés de premier ordre. Ces établissements apparaissent ainsi comme des partenaires naturels pour nourrir les collaborations franco-indiennes intenses autour de thématiques essentielles. Parmi les axes de coopération à privilégier, l'intelligence artificielle, le supercalcul et le big data tiennent naturellement un rôle de premier plan, puisque le président de la République et le Premier ministre ont adopté une feuille de route conjointe sur la cybersécurité et le numérique. En mai dernier, l'Inde était également présente à la réunion informelle des ministres du numérique des pays du G7. Il y était question des valeurs qui doivent prévaloir en matière d'innovation numérique et du rôle des nouvelles technologies dans la lutte contre les inégalités. Et ce sont des sujets sur lesquels j'appelle de mes voeux une collaboration franco-indienne très volontariste. C'est d'ailleurs la raison pour laquelle je souhaite que nous puissions rapidement identifier tous les projets relatifs à l'intelligence artificielle qui lient nos deux pays, que nous en recensions les acteurs et que nous mettions en place un pilotage plus stratégique de ces coopérations. I will now conclude my speech in English, and I hope it can illustrate the fact that language barriers are no longer an issue for French-Indian cooperation. As I pointed it, French higher education institutions get more and more competitive in several strategic fields for the future of our societies, and I truly hope we can intensify students' and researchers' circulations between our countries. This Knowledge Summit is a tremendous opportunity to do so, and I regret I cannot attend all of its discussions. I'm sure, however, that this summit will bring new ideas and opportunities to French-Indian cooperation, and I will pay close attention to your conclusions. When it comes to developing academic and scientific collaboration between our countries, be certain you will always find me and the whole French government as enthusiastic and supportive allies. Thank you very much, and have a beautiful day.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Ministre. May I now request His Excellency, Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra, Ambassador of India to France, to say a few words.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Frédérique Vidal, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation of Government of France, the President of University of Lyon, representative of Prefet of the city, representatives of Campus France, distinguished delegates, both from the Indian side and the participants from the French side, professors who are present here, students who are gracing this occasion, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to participate in this second edition of India-France Knowledge Summit. Let me at the outset extend my warm appreciation to the two ministries of higher education, both on the Indian side and on the French side, the University of Lyon, the two embassies, Embassy of France in Delhi and Indian Embassy in Paris, for helping organize and bringing us together in this second edition of India-France Knowledge Summit. Madam Minister, you referred to the conversation between President Macron and Prime Minister Modi, which took place in August in Shanti, and before that, the extensive conversation which took place between President Macron and Prime Minister during President Macron's visit to India, when the first chapter of the first edition of the Knowledge Summit was inaugurated. I'd like to mention here that India-France are in the third decade of their strategic partnership. And if you look at areas of cooperation which are emerging, education, academic exchanges, and all related disciplines in this broader field, they constitute essentially a very new pillar, but a rapidly growing pillar of our strategic partnership. As you are all aware that the first education summit in New Delhi outlined the roadmap for future of collaboration between France and India. We are happy to note that pretty much the participation in the second Knowledge Summit matches to an extent the participation in the first Knowledge Summit. Of course, the Honorable Minister of Higher Education of India could not be here for the second summit, but I think the enthusiastic participation on both sides, which essentially carries forward the substance of this engagement, is indeed a delightful thing to see. I think during the first education summit, the main focus was on increasing student mobility and expanding collaborations to promote research and development and facilitate the linking of campuses with companies, and special emphasis on enhancing employability of education products of higher education institutions. Sometime I don't like the word products of education, but anyway, we are in a way in a bit of a marketplace sometimes, so these things have to be factored in. At the first education summit, 15 agreements were signed, including, as Madam Minister, you rightly pointed out, the bilateral agreement on mutual recognition of academic qualifications, which, of course, is one of the pivotal aspects of enhancing the mobility of students between France and India, as also between the researchers and the young professionals between our two countries. That agreement essentially enables the recognition of tertiary educational qualifications and basically provides an enormous enabling political and administrative framework for the students on both sides, especially the students on the Indian side, to benefit from the educational capacities which are there in both systems. And this effectively has led to a phenomenal increase in the number of Indian students which have been coming to France over the last 2 years. I would like to mention here that when it comes to the field of education, academic exchanges between the researchers, the Indian system, both in the government and in the stakeholders which are outside the government, is right now committed to forging very strong externalities in this field. It is no longer an inward-looking discipline as perhaps it used to be a few decades ago. As part of this, we are focusing on both expanding and the intake of the foreign students into the Indian education system, as also expanding academic collaboration between the higher education institutions of India, as also higher education institutions of other countries, notably of France. And this is through various sub-segments, which includes knowledge tie-up, which includes special schemes which focus on academic research and collaborative exchanges. It focuses on essentially creating ecosystems in India, which allows the reputed faculty from the higher education institutions abroad to come and take up teaching assignments in the Indian system. Madam Minister, you talked about the research collaboration in various areas of interest, including artificial intelligence, the field of cyber. I would like to mention here that one of the key things which was agreed during Prime Minister Modi's visit to France in August, just a couple of months ago, was an action plan in the field of cyber. And I think the academic underpinnings of that action plan is essentially to come out from the people, among the people who are present in this room, and your colleagues, of course, who occupy this space, this discipline outside this particular premises. In the field of research, Indo-France cooperation has been able to set up some actually strong areas of institutional frameworks, most notably the Indo-French Center for the Promotion of Advanced Research on both sides, which is actually doing concrete and specific projects which are mutually decided by the two sides and also to a large extent funded by the two sides. And I think building on the outcomes of the first education summit under the overall umbrella of the large strategic partnership, and given the enabling framework which has already been created in this space, I think the second edition of the Knowledge Summit represents, that's where a significant opportunity and a milestone in our efforts to strengthen cooperation in this field. It would be our belief that the Knowledge Summit 2.0 would seek to help converging the needs and the capacities between our two educational systems, especially in the areas some of which Madam Minister outlined in detail, including aeronautics, space, artificial intelligence, space, agriculture, architecture, and strengthening the overall employability and entrepreneurship. I also take this opportunity to place on record our appreciation and acknowledgement of the efforts which have been done by each one of you in not just facilitating the coming together of the mechanisms and the institutions, but also in your individual capacities in strengthening this process. I hope that by the time this edition of Knowledge Summit ends, we would not only be in a position to identify approaches to strengthen existing areas of cooperation, but also, more importantly, for the sustainability of these mechanisms in future and the growth, detail the specifics of modalities, mechanisms, and priorities of our bilateral educational exchanges, including through concrete specific projects. I will conclude by wishing only the very best to the proceedings of the Knowledge Summit 2.0. Although I myself would not be able to present for the entire duration of the summit, I would like to state that Embassy of India in Paris is absolutely open in facilitating and in many cases smoothing the hurdles that you may encounter in forging a stronger relationship in the field of education. Once again, thank you very much for coming together for the Knowledge Summit 2.0 and giving us this opportunity to be here and speaking to you. Thank you very much.